Good afternoon, and thank you for joining me for another episode of Mike Talks About Subarus. Today we're going to take a look at the technology inside the 2020 Subaru Crosstrek. We're going to look at a premium package automatic transmission today. We'll start with the basics on the door panels and go across the front of the dash. So starting with the driver's door, we have your mirror adjustment knob, which you can turn to the R for the right mirror, L for the left mirror, and that's just a joystick function to move that side to side, up and down. Below that is your lock function for the doors, driver's window, passenger's window, and then your rear windows are here, and this is your window lockout button. Moving over to the left-hand portion of the dashboard, right here you'll find your knob for brightness for your dash lights. This button deactivates traction control. If you've done so, you'll find the orange light on the dashboard indicating you've turned it off. The next button deactivates the auto start stop feature, in which case if you've turned that off, you'll see the orange light indicate right here. That will default to on every time you start the car, as will traction control. Moving over to your radio, it's going to be a touchscreen radio with soft touch as well as some hard touch buttons below. Phone button for pairing your cell phone and getting your contact information, your text messages, recent calls, favorites. Starlink connects you to the Starlink program you can download onto your cell phone to get you outside programs, Yelp reviews, iHeartRadio, things of that nature. Settings button is going to bring you into all your radio settings, basic car feature settings. You can add shortcuts for specific radio stations or genres. The apps button brings you into where you can connect your Pandora, your AHA radio, connect to My Subaru, travel link through the XM, which gives you gas locations, pricing, sports updates, stock updates, local weather. The media function, which if you had a CD, something connected to the USB in here, auxiliary input, that type of stuff would be found under media. The My Subaru button, if you were connected to My Subaru and Starlink, gives you access to roadside assistance and the service appointment scheduler. And then the radio, of course, brings you to your radio screen where you can choose FM, AM, Sirius XM, set your radio stations down here. So if there's a particular station you'd like, maybe you want 97.9 as your number 3 station. What you can do is set it to the 97.9 up there, press and hold the number you want it set to, and when it beeps at you, it's in. Same idea if you want to rewrite it, turn it to the station you want, press and hold on the number, and it's going to put it in there. Below is just the hard buttons that would get you to the same place as the screen buttons. Radio, while you're in there, is just going to cycle through the input, whether it's FM, AM, or XM. Phone button will bring you to your phone screen, which we don't need to do. We don't have a device in there right now. Apps, again, brings you to your app screen. You're going to have your seek buttons for the radio here, your media button. Volume control will be found here, and then your tuner knob to the right. CD player is going to be there. Moving on to climate control. Down below the radio is where you'll find your climate control. The left-hand knob here is going to adjust the temperature, which you'll see change up above as you move everything. The second knob will adjust your fan speed. Third knob adjusts the position of the blower, and where is it going to send there. AC on and off. Maximum AC is here. The center button is your air recirculator, which will make it so that it's using the air from inside the vehicle versus drawing air from outside the car. auto sets it so that the car blows the air at the speed it thinks it should, at the position it thinks it should, to get the car to the temperature you have it set to. Of course, on and off, turns it on and off. Over here you've got your full front defrost, and below that, that's going to activate your rear defrost, your heated mirrors, and your wiper de-ice. On that area of climate control, you also have your heated seats, driver and passenger side. Forward for high, low to for the back there, and the center turns it right off. X mode is going to activate the Subaru X mode system. Now moving to the steering wheel here. Left and right, we'll go through your preset radio stations. Volume up and down. Volume up and down. Source will switch between where the music is coming from, again FM, AM, or Sirius XM. And then the info button will change what you're looking at in the display up here on the eco gauge, whether it's your average miles per gallon, instant miles per gallon, distance still empty. Below that is your talk button, or pick up the phone and hang up the phone. The talk button can be used to make calls, to tell the radio what to do. For example, if you want to listen to a certain radio station, you can press this button, wait for the beep, then you can tell it what you want it to do. Tune to 106.5 FM.
Tuning to 106.5 FM.
You could also tell it satellite channel, Willie's Roadhouse. If you have a favorite one, you can tell it vocally versus having to reach out and use the knobs and whatnot when you're driving. So it really puts a new element to the hands-free driving. On the inside of the wheel, bottom left corner, you have these buttons that pull towards you. Those are going to change what you're looking at the center screen, whether it's a digital speedometer, usage of the auto start stop, your individual tire pressure gauges, and then your eco meters will be found in there as well. The center button, where it says the I set, can be pulled towards you to bring you into basic settings for the screen, the units if you want it to be miles per hour or kilometers per hour, KPI versus PSI for the tire pressure, things like that will be found in there. Warning volume for the eyesight systems will be found in there. A few basic settings on your keyless entry, your defog, how long you want to stay on when you activate that. Auto door locks, when it activates, deactivates. You'll find all that information inside those menus there. Up above, your map lights, just press them to turn them on and off. Beyond those, these are for your Starlink systems, emergency response, roadside assistance. And these buttons here are going to turn off your eyesight systems. This one turns off the lane sway warning. This one will turn off the pre-collision braking. For either of those, it's a press and hold for 3 seconds to turn them off. When you do turn them off, it'll indicate it on the screen down here. As well as give a little beep. If I turn the car off, start it back up again, after everything gets going here, what you'll see is the pre-collision braking is reactivated. The lane sway warning has not. That function defaults to the most recent position you had it in. The pre-collision braking turns off every time. Or turns back on rather, each time you start the car. I think that just about covers everything. except for cruise control. On your cruise control, we have got cruise on, cruise off in the upper right hand corner. These buttons here will increase or decrease the distance, and you can see that right here between you and the vehicle ahead of you for the adaptive cruise control. Bottom right hand corner turns on and off the lane keep assist, which will gently nudge the steering wheel if you're drifting over the lines. And below that you have the sport mode and intelligent mode. Those are settings for your transmission, more aggressive acceleration or smoother acceleration with better gas mileage. Outside of that, we have your shifter paddles, downshift and upshift. Straight back puts you in the drive. Over to the left puts you in a manual mode where you can see what gear you're in and can actually shift through these virtual gears here. You can see that change in the bottom left hand corner of that information display. Beyond there, windshield wipers are over on the right hand side. Down one click is intermittent, second click is low, third click is high. Pull the whole thing towards you, we'll squirt the windshield. The outside knob controls your rear wiper. Down one click or hold it down, we'll squirt the rear window and wipe until you release. Up one click is intermittent for the rear, up again is on continuously, and from there you can roll it forwards, and that too will squirt the rear window until you release it. On the left hand side you'll find your headlights. Off is all the way down. Up one click is auto, where they turn on automatically at night. No matter what position you have this in, daytime running lights will always turn on anytime the vehicle's in gear. This is going to be parking lights, on all the time. Forward for high beam, back for low beam. Same thing in auto, it's forward for high beam, back for low beam. The inside knob is fog lights off and on. Up and down is going to control your blinker. Right here is where you find the trip reset. You can switch between tripometer A and B. Press and hold it to set that specific trip back to 0. And that's it for this episode. Mike Talks About Subaru. If you do have any questions, feel free to mention them in the comments below.